delineation of student learner outcomes for all programs and an assessment plan that includes peer assessment and administrative review are part of becoming the natural choice. We have to generate that excitement about learning and thinking that we had in our own lives as academics, the spark that led us to certain disciplines and terminal degrees. W.H. Auden writes that, quote, "A professor is one who talks in someone else's sleep." Further notes that lecture as a process by which the notes of the professor becomes the notes of the student without passing through the minds of either. I know all of us have had professors like that in the past, but fortunately we don't have any of those here at UOG. If we do, we will never become the natural choice. Our university colors are green and white. Our university has a vibrant agricultural program infused with resources from the Land Grant Network and some of the best agricultural specialists in the region. Our university has other world-class scientists who specialize in a number of disciplines, from biology to chemistry to marine biology. We have technological know-how, the scientific knowledge, and the academic resources to make a difference in our immediate environment as we deal with issues pertaining to energy, waste disposal, and recycling. Beyond our campus, our island community has dealt with solid waste issues in a way that seems to defy rationality. We wait for someone else to tell us what to do, and then we react begrudgingly. We almost reached $5 a gallon in gas prices, and despite the retreat, we will reach that sometime in the future. And the biggest increase in our lives is not the impending military buildup, it's the fuel charge in our power bill. As an island community, we have not engaged sustainability as a powerful operating value. We may use it as a catchphrase from time to time, and some businesses see it as a hindrance to economic profitability. But we haven't embraced the sustainability of our environment as a goal in our institutional life. We haven't endorsed the idea that Molly Beatty offers. In the long term, the economy and the environment are the same things. If it is unenvironmental, it will end up being uneconomical. It is the rule of nature. The university is supposed to be at the cutting edge of trends and the synthesizer of policy, science, and technology and progress. The university can become that cutting edge by becoming the model green institution for Guam and the entire region. We can use our agricultural knowledge and skills to start with our own campus and turn it into the tropical wonderland that reflects the paradise that we like to say that we're in. We will plant trees. We will revise our landscaping plans and make our tropical environment an essential part of our facility building plan. We will learn how to manage our waste and become the model for recycling on the entire island. We will not only follow the rules and regulations, we will set the pace for a greener Guam by truly becoming UOG green. Lastly, we will use our technological and scientific know-how to reduce our carbon footprint and become eventually energy independent. Initially, this will require some investment, but in the end, we will have energy efficient buildings and air conditioning, and we will be powered by a combination of new technologies and by our own electrical generation. Our vision is to become part of a grid that will power not only our campus, but the whole neighborhood around us here in Manila. This not only makes financial sense over time, it makes educational sense, and our campus will become an exciting place for researchers, young scientists, and budding policy makers, those people who want to see UOG as their natural choice. We cannot be the think tank. There's a number of people out there who want to be the think tank for a sustainable future if we cannot sustain ourselves. We cannot preach the message of environmental protection if we do not practice it ourselves. And all of our programs will be involved, from sociology to agriculture, from biology to teacher education. They'll all become involved, and they will be more meaningful programs because they are part of our UOG Green Initiative. The nexus between sustainability challenges and academic programs involves more than just technological change. It involves the education of the next generation and the formation of public policy that reflects our concern for our unique island environment and the generations that will inhabit it for the next 100 years. In addition to becoming the natural choice, we will become the natural place as we make our way towards UOG Green. This is a long-term goal, but it is a worthwhile goal, an organizing principle, if you will. This is UOG's equivalent of going to the moon by the end of the decade, as announced by President Kennedy early in his administration. I hesitate to give a time frame, and I hope what happened to President Kennedy doesn't happen to me. But within 5 years, we should see our power consumption from traditional sources reduced by 25% or more. We will all be plugged into UOG Green, and we will lead the way for the entire region. Now, the last initiative, leading change. Some of us see ourselves as learned, while fortunately, most of us think of ourselves as learners. Eric Hoffer writes, "In times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists." I hope that most of us remain learners. For me, the most compelling definition of education, is one that I use all the time, is that education is enabling people to deal with life from a position of strength. In our lives, we respond and we adapt. Sometimes we just accept things because that's the way they're supposed to be. Other times we accept alterations because the powers that be have already decided this, to move things in a given direction, and we think we are powerless to change the direction of our lives. Paulo Freire writes, "Education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate the integration of the younger generation into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of the world." Between conformity and freedom, educated individuals choose freedom. And they choose the freedom to manage and to lead change. They understand change, and they try to make change work to their advantage. When they disagree with the changes, they try to redirect them or even stop them. Educated people are not always agents of change. They can also be agents of conservation. But understanding the tension between change and conservation and the role that institutions in that tension marks the truly educated person. The University of Guam must be at the forefront of change in many different ways. We must be relevant in our programs and our engagement with the community. We must be the institution to develop the educated individuals who become agents